USF 2000 qualifying set to get underway. Rob Howden, the voice of the road to Indy, will join me momentarily as cars begin making their way around track and getting those tire temperatures up, getting the tire pressures up. Second qualifying session of the day. It will be a doubleheader day again for the USF 2000 series as they will race twice tomorrow. USF 2000 race number 1 at 10:55 a.m. in the morning, and they will conclude our action on a very busy Saturday at 5:20. 2 races tomorrow for the USF 2000, in addition 2 races for the MX5 Cup as well. Cars out on track. We're hoping for a clean session this time, and already 13 and 14. We've got a car looped around and heading backwards. We'll see if this car can get turned around and pointed in the right direction. The tricky part is going to be finding a space and opening to get back in, and there he goes. Whew.
Todd, it looked like one of the D-Force cars, I believe, going around there.
And we have seen that. We have seen plenty of action in all of our sessions here today. This one on the opening lap, the out lap from pit lane, just trying to get the tires warmed up and up to temperature. But it shows and illustrates the intensity and the urgency that drivers feel to get out and get a good lap. We've had problems in a number of sessions already. Drivers want to get out and make sure that they get a good lap and don't end up in a difficult position after this short 20-minute session.
And I think that's kind of the key right now. I think that you saw a number of drivers potentially think that they were kind of losing a bit there. So, hey, you know what? I'm not going to make the same mistake in qualifying number 2. I'm going to make sure I'm ready to rock on that one. So drivers out and getting ready to work immediately. 20-minute session again for the drivers here in USF 2000, the very first run of this road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires. USF 2000 to Indy Pro to Indy Lights. Top driver in that first qualifying session will start on the pole alongside his teammate Matt Round-Garrido. Christian Brooks had the quickest lap time, very close to the track record that he set last year when we capped off the season here in St. Petersburg. But picking right where he left off, getting ready to roll. And again, if he can go back-to-back pole positions, it's going to be a lot of confidence back in the bank for Christian Brooks.
It'll be a slightly different session as we've documented through the day today. Each time the cars come out on track, they will face something a little bit different. There have been other series out, including the Stadium Super Trucks and other series that have different rubber. There's usually a little bit of fluid, even with the great work that the sweepers and crews do here to try to clean up the track between every session. The feel of the track is going to be just a little bit different for these drivers.
Yeah, it's not even so much the cleanup, right? It's more the fact that the rubber's going down. And not only that, but the drivers in different series take different race lines as well. back once again as the PA has restarted here at the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. Christian Brooks back to the lead at 112.432 for Christian. 111.9, his fast lap from last year's track record, still about a half a second off of that. Still about 12 and a half minutes remaining. And again, when we see time for the half a second off, Todd, you're wondering whether or not they're saving a set of tires for a race tomorrow. Are these the same tires they qualified on? I didn't get a chance because I'm back to running around so much. I didn't get a chance to talk to enough people to find out who's holding on to tires. They may not even have told me anyways, right? Because
that's the other part of the strategy. They hold very close.
Don't tell Rob.
It won't really necessarily come out until tomorrow as we start to see things play out. Christian Brooks just popped in a quicker lap, a 112.1 now, getting closer to that track record.
Yeah.
Still about a tenth and a half away from it, but closing in on it. Maybe there's going to be an opportunity before this session is out. Just under 8 minutes remaining. I got to remind everyone again too, please make sure you are wearing your face coverings at all times when you are out in the crowd in the grandstands or when you are walking around on the grounds. Please make sure you are wearing your face coverings. Thank you for your help.
Right now, I got to think that maybe Christian Brooks can get it done here. I don't know about D'Orlando. He's still 4/10 back, but knowing that the fuel level's going down on these cars, still 11 and a half minutes to go, and Brooks literally 2/10 away from the track record, he may be able to get past that time he set last year.
Michael D'Orlando's only completed a couple of laps, though, and I wonder if he's kind of waiting until the last minute just to try to see what you can do, see if you can muster anything out in the last little bit.
Well, look at this. His teammate Kohlbecker, same thing. Thomas Nepveu, same thing. They've literally been hanging around in pit lane. Good to see Nolan Siegel back. Actually wasn't feeling well, but is better. Things are great. Back at it. Good to see him back here.
Brooks, D'Orlando, Porto, Round-Garrido, and Rowe, the top five here at USF 2000. Second qualifying session of the day. Qualified a little bit earlier for race number one. Christian Brooks will have the pole position, and it will be a double-header race day tomorrow. 2 races for the USF 2000 series on tomorrow's program. It is a busy day in terms of racing tomorrow. The USF 2000 with 2, the MX5 Cup with 2 here at the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. And this session is moving along quickly. And now, Michael D'Orlando is out with another lap. Let's see if he can come up with something. He did 112.6 last time.
Interesting, though, he went the other way. Instead of keep going down, he got to 112.611. Let's see if he turns that back around. There's drivers working their way down the back straightaway. One of them is number 19 of Andre Castro. 26 drivers in the field. Castro chasing one of the Jay Howard driver development cars, I believe. Brooks, D'Orlando, Porto, Round-Garrido, and Kohlbecker, the top 5.
How great is it to see 26 cars this season in the USF 2000 as well? So many entries, a lot of different drivers from a lot of different backgrounds coming into the series. Just shows that this is an opportunity that they see as a way to move forward and move up the ladder and hopefully eventually to Indy cars.
Well, that's just it, right? They're looking at this saying, hey, this is our chance to potentially get to the IndyCar program. We've seen it happen. There are lots of examples of drivers who have been able to take full advantage of the scholarship and work their all the way up into the NTT IndyCar series. And that's the dream for these drivers. The beauty of it is, though, if they get to a point where budget-wise they can't go any further, they can always make that adjustment and transition off into sports cars. That's number 12, Kiko Porto, into pit lane. Looks like they may be putting new rubber on the number 12 machine for Porto, the Brazilian for D-Force Racing, currently P4, about 0.4 of a second back. Christian Brooks, though, with 3.5 of a second up. Brooks, your leader, in the 44, the red and white exclusive auto sports machine. Kohlbecker, Spike Kohlbecker up into second. I'll tell you, Spike Kohlbecker starting to impress me right now. I told everybody to look out for him come maybe Road America. I think he wants to accelerate the learning curve and see if he can't work his way to a potential podium or race win here in the early part of the season. Rookie driver, winner last year in the F4 program. Coming over here now to USF 2000 with Ignite Autosport and the Ignite Autosport program, platform that connects Margay racing drivers, karting drivers, and the grassroots of motorsports all the way up through to the road to Indy. Spike Kohlbecker and Evan Stammer, his teammate, both longtime Margay racers, part of the Margay Ignite program based out of Gateway Kartplex at the Worldwide Technology Raceway Gateway. Madison, Illinois, just across the river from St. Louis. Looking for more movers here. Behind the top five, Myles Rowe in the Force Indy number 99, running sixth. Thomas Nepveu, the Quebec driver, Quebec, Canada, working his way now up into the top seven. But Yuven Sundaramoorthy now up into third. Four drivers into pit lane. The number 6 of Joy Garg, the 19 of Andre Castro, the 16 of Kent Vaccaro, the 11 of Prescott Campbell. Your point leader, Prescott Campbell, back in 10th position. Has that point lead coming in, but doesn't seem to have quite the race-winning pace right now.
So maybe in these final 6.5 minutes or so, this is the opportunity that drivers will take. Well, we weren't necessarily going to use another set of tires.
Red flag.
But perhaps we will, and red flag now is maybe going to catch some of these drivers out and not staying out on course, looking to see where the incident might be out on track. But this session is red flagged, as we have seen all day long here at the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, with cars having problems out on course, becoming stopped out on track.
I'm thinking Eli Navarro right behind us here down in turn number 10. Looks like the number 1 of Navarro, the D-Force driver, potentially right behind us here. That's the down into turn number 10. That tight left-hander which has the, it's almost like you want it to be a fast 90, but you got to kind of check up a little bit. I don't see him there unless he went off into the runoff. Right now that area is clean, but our track map shows Navarro in that corner. 6 minutes and 15 seconds still to go. And again, up front, so Christian Brooks out as the leader right now, getting that job done. Lap number 10 complete for Brooks. 112.102, 2/10 off his track record from last year. Over 2/10 quicker than Michael D'Orlando. From the video cameras that we're looking at here, we can't see the number 1 of Eli Navarro, but I believe he's the driver that's involved. The remainder of them coming back into pit lane now. We'll be able to give you the confirmation there. Yeah, last driver coming across will be Michael Myers. So indeed, it's Eli Navarro out. We didn't see him there at the apex of the corners. You'll wonder whether or not he's further back in. Yeah, they're going to go back in like he has spun and potentially made contact in the runoff area in the exit of turn number 10. So Navarro, where was he running? 20th in the order. Eli Navarro, Lucas Oil School of Racing Formula Car Series champion from 2020. 1.15 seconds back as the entire field separated by just 2 seconds. Majority of the field, 1.5 seconds. Christian Brooks, though, ahead by 2/10. Michael D'Orlando, the number 4, P2. Yuven Sundaramoorthy, winner of the opening round at Barber Motorsports Park for Pabst Racing. Third-year driver, currently in the third spot in the 22. Spike Kohlbecker, the rookie, for Ignite Autosport with Cape Motorsports. Number 5, P4, Kiko Porto, a winner at the doubleheader to cap the season off here at St. Petersburg last year. The Brazilian now 5th. Matt Round-Garrido will start on the outside of row 1 alongside Christian Brooks for race 1, currently sitting 6th alongside Porto on row 3. 4 minutes still to go. We'll see whether or not we get back at it. Behind Round-Garrido, Myles Rowe in the Force Indy number 99 in 7th. Really tremendous qualifying run for Myles. Was strong on the opening run as well. Thomas Nepveu in 8th spot, Josh Pearson 9th, and Prescott Campbell rounding out the top 10.
Looked like a little work going on in the left rear of Prescott Campbell along pit road as well. Not sure if that's a brake adjustment or what, but hopefully get out in the just under 4 minutes remaining in this USF2000 qualifying session. Another reminder, folks, that masks and face coverings are required at all times here at the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, whether you're in the seats or whether you're out on the ground circulating through Gasoline Alley or wherever you are on the grounds. Face coverings, masks must be worn at all times. Thank you for your help. Thank you for your cooperation. We want to have another safe weekend for everyone. And it looks like they have that car up on the hook, and they're just going to move that out of the way. So we should get a little bit of extra time in this to complete this session in the last couple of minutes. It'll be another dash trying to squeeze in one more lap, maybe 2, before we get the checkers.
So even though he was off in that runoff area, had he made contact at all and the car was stricken, they can't leave it there in case another driver gets into that area. So good call for the race control. We're going back to green already. 3 minutes still remaining, and you know what? That's enough time. These tires have not cooled down that much. That is definitely enough time to make something happen. Looking at some of the other drivers, some of our rookie drivers, Billy Fraser, top rookie in the opening race in the Cambridge Global Payments Exclusive Autosports, number 91. He is actually back in 12th position now. Myles Rowe jumping up into the top 10. He's in the 7th. He was actually 9th, so a little improvement for Myles Rowe. Kohlbecker was 11th. He's up to 4th. So Spike Kohlbecker making the most gains as the drivers from Cape Motorsports dialing things in right now as they start to work their way back up. They have, I believe, 3 of their 4 drivers for Cape Motorsports now in the top 10. Evan Stommer, the fourth driver, his first year in cars after doing the Lucas Oil School of Racing. The karting star coming up through the Margay Ignite program, part of Ignite Autosport. 19th right now, just a second back. Very impressed with what Evan Stommer's done here thus far.
Just over 2 minutes remaining, and now the scramble is out. Hope that the tires come right back up to optimum temperature. You can find a big enough space out on track to give yourself that chance at maybe a couple of flyer laps, just depending on when they cross the timing line. But they might have time for 2 quick laps here in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, they're going to get this one and another one for sure. So 2 flying laps potentially for the drivers working their way around. Can you get any speed? There's Trey Burke in the number 63 for Joe Dueling Autosport. Trey, the driver we'll talk about throughout this season, having come over from sprint car racing, dirt sprint car racing, on the 360 to 410 sprint car. A lot of accolades for Trey Burke, and of course trying his hand here at open wheel racing, trying to do the AJ Foyt style crossover from dirt to the IndyCar world. I like it. We're thrilled to have him in the paddock. Tough though. We talked about this, Todd. A lot of these guys are running in packs. If you're third in a pack right now, you're not getting a good lap here because you don't have clean air. You're gonna have to check up for the guy in front of you. Unless he's faster than you, and you can use him as a rabbit. Otherwise, you're wasting laps and burning tires.
And that's the challenging part with only a couple of minutes remaining in the qualifying session. Even if your tires are warm, even if the temperatures are maxed at the max where they need to be, and the tire pressures as well, finding that open track, finding that clean area that you can really lay out a heater in the last couple of minutes.
The fuel load is as low as it has been all session long. The cars are light. Tires are coming up to temp. We didn't see anybody go quicker this last time by. Everybody kind of dialing things back in. Oh, check that. Josh Pearson was actually faster. He moved from 8th up to 7th. So Pearson in the Pops Racing number 24, now to 7th position alongside Myles Rowe. That would be row number 4. There's Billy Fraser and Grant Palmer working their way through here.
1 car remaining on pit road is Prescott Campbell, that 11 car. They were working on the left rear of that car during that red flag situation. That work has continued, and that is going to be a difficult starting spot for him in the race tomorrow.
And that tells me it wasn't an adjustment, but it was a repair. Something happened with the brakes. It didn't have a good feel for the balance of the brakes. They were only working on the left side. So Prescott bringing it in, P10. They'll be lucky to hold on to that spot as drivers coming around to bang things out here right now. Checker flag in the air. This will be the final lap for USF2000. Of course, Indy Lights still to qualify at 5:25 this afternoon. Drivers coming into pit lane. Brooks is in. He does not go any quicker. Does anybody have it? Some more speed to grab this position. I don't see any movement as of yet. Christian Brooks still on top. No, Kiko Porto. Porto goes to P1. Kiko Porto stealing the pole position and not quite the new track record. But Kiko Porto, those 2 drivers, first and seconds, are the one that won the races. And that's last year, and that's a bonus point. Kiko Porto on that last lap, stealing the pole away from Christian Brooks. So it'll be Porto and Brooks on row 1. 18 thousandths of a second, Todd. That was close.
It looked like, just as the red flag came out, Kiko Porto was one that stopped along pit road, and they were putting new tires on that car. And was it 2 laps were just enough to get him enough time to get out, warm the tires up, and put in the quick one.
And I will say a lot of fast laps starting to go down there. Myles Rowe went his quickest lap time, a 1:12.438. Andre Castro moved from probably like 19th up into 10th on that final circuit. He moves, remember, Josh Pearson was 7th. I think he's down to 11th right now, so 4 drivers able to jump up ahead of him. Thomas DeVoe The big one was Josh Green and Kiko Porto. Those are the two guys. Josh Green jumping up into fourth. So, wow, the D-Force drivers pretty happy. Our team pretty happy down there on pit lane right now. There's Pato Award. He knows the D-Force guys from the Houston area. So he was right there with all the crew from D-Force. D-Force got a great racing heritage too. David Martinez, his uncle Ernesto Martinez. Those are the two guys that have that. They own that program. David, of course, a former Champ Car driver, top 10 racer at the Champ Car event in Mexico City. Had a great Atlantic Championship career as well. They are super dedicated to this team, and they have really come on over the last year. They were really I think probably the top team in the last couple of races last year. And they have come out of the gate nicely. Kiko Porto on the pole in the number 12 machine. Christian Brooks in second. Matt Round-Garrido third. Josh Green fourth. And Michael D'Orlando rounding out the Fast Five. Yuven Sundaramoorthy in sixth spot. Myles Rowe in seventh. Spike Kohlbecker eighth. Thomas Nepveu ninth. And Andre Castro, a magic flyer at the end, jumps in from about 17th up into the top 10. So it'll be an outside row 5 start for the Legacy Autosport driver. Andre Castro will be alongside Thomas Nepveu. What a session. Again, we had that little red flag for the incident with Eli Navarro. We jammed things into the last 2 or 3 minutes and made it exciting. But congratulations to the Brazilian Kiko Porto on the pole. He and Christian Brooks will be on row number 2 for race number 1 for race number 2. Both those races, Todd, happening tomorrow for USF 2000.
Look how far it pushed back Prescott Campbell as well, down to 16th with those quick laps.
Those 4 guys that went fast. 5 guys went faster at the end. Really good pickup. Your point leader starting back in 16th on the outside of row 8. There is so much intrigue in USF 2000. And as I said, both races will be happening tomorrow on Saturday.
Looking forward to that, and looking forward to NTT IndyCar Series qualifying, which is coming up in just a couple of minutes. Indy Lights qualifying will follow and round up our day here Friday at the Fire